All right. Got a little warm up here on StreamYard. Okay, so let's go live here on StreamYard. We'll go live. Oh, no, not stories. We're going to go live on IG. Okay, we'll go live on IG. And then we'll go live on TikTok here. Okay. All right, looks like we are. All right, so we're live everywhere. All right, perfect. All right, well done, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going live. Today is Thursday. It is Q&A time. I'm going to make myself available for about the next 40, maybe 41 minutes, maybe 42 if I'm filling up to it, if I'm being nice. And I'm going to have you ask me any question about sales. All right, now here's the rules. All right, because we're going live here on IG, on the IG phone. We're going live on the TikTok phone over here. Love you guys, TikTok. We even got Snicker bars ready for you if you get angry. Sometimes we get some angry people on TikTok. They just don't like my hair and stuff. And then we're also going live on StreamYard. On my desktop, we're going live in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. Got about 32,000 of you guys run around in there. Facebook business page, about 80,000 of you run around there. YouTube just got it, not endorsed. What's it called? Verified on YouTube. Got verified on YouTube in 2 days. Got verified on Facebook in 2 days. 6 months later, still not verified on IG. They just don't like us over there on IG and TikTok. It's taken forever. We're going live on LinkedIn and my own personal Facebook. So here's the rules to the ball game, folks. All right. When you have a question, you got to let me know what industry you're in. Okay. Hey, man, I need your help. I need your help too. What can you help me with? All right. Let's go. Let's get some knowledge. Sugar bars. All right. So when you guys ask me a question, tell me what industry you're in. I sell this, and here's my question, because if I know what industry you're in, it helps me better understand the context of what you do. Also, tell me like, hey, I call outbound leads and I sell insurance. I have inbound leads on Zoom and I am in cybersecurity. I sell, I'm a real estate agent. I meet people at their homes. Like if I can understand, if you do inbound leads, outbound leads, or cold calling, that can help me better answer your question. Because if I don't understand those things, I'm just basically guessing, throwing mud against the wall, hoping and praying that something I say is going to stick for you. So don't be like that. All right. Now, if you're brand new to our Facebook group, or now you're following me on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever, I'm Jeremy Miner. I'm the chairman and founder of an organization called Seventh Level. And we're a company that trains people exactly like you watching me right now, even looking at my face. All right. So we train salespeople like you. We train sales professionals like you. We train sales executives like you. We train sales leadership, sales management like you. We train coaches like you, consultants like you, business owners like you. And we help you and your teams transform the way you sell by learning specific skilled questions and techniques that work with human behavior, that actually trigger your prospect to open up and want to engage, rather than triggering them into going into fight or flight mode and trying to get rid of you. That's not very fun when you trigger a lot of sales resistance, right? That's called NEPQ. It stands for Neuro-Emotional Persuasion Questioning. So when I say NEPQ, that's what I mean. Now, we have to teach you the right tonality. We have to teach you the right verbal cues, the right verbal pausing that trigger your prospect to want to go below the surface and actually engage and open up to you and pull you in and sell themselves. Now, you want to learn those type of skills because, folks, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. On these little Q&As, on these little trainings that we give out here and there, we just give you little nibbles. We give you little hors d'oeuvres. We give you a little golden nuggets, like very small. It's like 100,000 piece puzzle. And on these reels that you see me all over the place, and on these little lives, I give you like 3 of those pieces out of the 100-piece puzzle. So if you want to be like our clients who are in the same industry as you're in, who are probably more than likely making 3 to 5 times or more than you are, then if you want to acquire those skills, message me directly right now. So if you're on IG, boom, message me directly right now. You're on TikTok, message me directly right now. I'm here on my desktop. If you're on LinkedIn or the Facebook group or the Facebook business page or my Facebook, message me directly right now. If you're on YouTube, you can't message me. They don't let you do that. So you got to post hashtag NEPQ, and either myself or somebody will say, hey, I'm with Jeremy Miner's team, 7th Level. will message you different options if you want to acquire those type of skills. If you don't want to acquire those type of skills, you can keep making the money you are now. It has no impact on us, right? Okay. All right. Now let's start off with some questions here. Let me get over here. Now, also, if you're on the live right now, post #live. And if you're on the replay, I'm going to have you post #replay. And I better see a bunch of smashed hearts and smashed likes, baby, or I'm just going to go out golfing right now. It's only 95 degrees here in Scottsdale. Getting nice and cold. All right. Let's go here. I'm going to look here on the Facebook group first. How do I find new prospects daily as an insurance agent who is lost with no idea where to go? Well, you're probably, for your industry, you're probably going to purchase leads, I'm assuming. Let me move this out of here for you guys. That's like a question I'm not going to be able to answer for you. So I would get with the person who brought you into the insurance company and find out where they get leads and get those leads and then learn the skills to actually call those leads, Michael. That's your first step, all right? Okay, I've got another one here from a Jack Pose. What a cool name, man. Real estate, brand new agent. What is my first step in generating leads and getting my business started? Okay, we're not a lead generation company. We are a sales training company, meaning we train you what to say to those leads, what to ask to those leads that trigger them to want to open up and engage. Okay. So as far as marketing advice, I get with the people that kind of helped you get started in insurance and find out what they're doing to generate leads and really brand yourself as an expert on social media through reels, through different daily posts and stuff. Like you might see me if you follow me on IG as well. But as far as marketing advice, I'm not the expert on that. I love you, man, but I'm just not the expert on that. All right. I have to stick to my own lane. Okay, let's go over here. Somebody in the Facebook group, it just says Facebook user, so I'm sorry I didn't pull up your name. And I'm going to come over to IG. I'm going to come to your guys' questions. I'm going to come over here to TikTok with you guys and your questions as well. I sell foreign exchange hedging solutions to CFOs of large multinationals. My question is, how do you find your non-sales resistance tonality? How do you find it? Well, you practice it. You learn. You have to be taught that, okay? Advanced tonality, I hate to tell you guys, is not something that you're born with. You're not born with advanced tonality. Who on here is born with advanced tonality skills and verbal pausing and verbal cues? Anybody? I wasn't born with that. I had to acquire those skills, okay? Who on here is born with advanced objection handling skills and advanced objection prevention skills? Nobody? Who on here is born with advanced questioning skills? Nobody. Those are all acquired skills. So Facebook user, because I'm very familiar with your industry, train tons of people in your space that make a lot of money. Like I have people in your space that make $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 a year or more in commissions. You want to learn those skills, message me directly because we teach in our virtual training platforms, besides all the questioning, besides all that, we teach advanced tonality, okay, with our sales trainers and myself. So probably message me directly so you can eliminate sales resistance when you actually try to get through the gatekeeper to even try to get to that CFO. Because I'm assuming right now you're getting shut out pretty bad. Now that can change once you understand the right tonality and the right verbiage to use that triggers that gatekeeper to actually want to help you because they feel like they're helping their boss, not trying to get rid of you to help their boss. There's a big difference in that. All right, I'm going to come back over to the Facebook group here and YouTube questions in just 1 second. I'm going to come over here to the TikTok questions on the phone. We love you guys. No, this is IG. This is the IG phone. Got too many phones over here. All right. Good Lord. You got 100 questions on here. Out knocking right now. Send me some motivation. Learn the right skills, baby. It becomes really easy to knock the doors if you know exactly what to say and ask that trigger them to engage back. You cracked, my man. All right. Let's see here. How do I find my audience? I don't know what you sell. Hey, man, I need your help. Let's go get knowledge. Okay. Let's give me some questions here. Okay. Here's a good one. By Mr. Market 777. Is your QXLP, so NEPQ, I don't know what QXLP means. Is your NEPQ book based on NLP? A lot of people ask me that. Unfortunately, I don't know how to answer that because I've never taken any NLP courses. So I don't know if it is because I've never taken an NLP course. A lot of people ask me that. Now, my background in college, what I studied in college was behavioral science and human psychology, okay? So I'm assuming NLP probably has something to do with that, okay? So you're going to see maybe a little bit aspects that do. From what I understand, and like I said, I'm no expert in NLP because I've never taken a course, but from what I understand from my friends, NLP is more like selling one-to-many and different things. NEPQ, we're more focused on selling one-to-one or selling one to maybe a group, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 people, like in a boardroom, or one-to-one sales. Okay. Selling from stage, we do teach a little bit of that, but it's a little bit more advanced than that's in more of our advanced corners where we do that. Now, what books did you read and tweak to make your own? Well, son, I've read over 1,400 books on sales, persuasion, and influence, but my methodology doesn't come from somebody else because it's much, much different. That's why a lot of people, tens of thousands of people now are calling it the new model of selling. So my background, like I said, is behavioral science and human psychology. So when I was in college and I started selling, really struggling because I was reading all the books from the old sales gurus behind me, okay, at the same time I was in college studying behavioral science, and my professors were telling me that the most persuasive way to communicate was over here, right? If you can see me, while the sales gurus were telling me it was over here. Something that didn't make any sense. It was like complete opposite, okay? So what I did is like, how do I take the theory of behavioral science and bring that into my sales process? And that's what I started doing. And within about 3 months, I became the number one salesperson as a 21-year-old in a company of a couple hundred salespeople, making about 50 grand a month in commissions, going door to door. That was my first sales job, door to door. Within about a year, I was the number one salesperson in the entire industry out of tens of thousands. And then I went on within about 4 years from that to making multiple 7 figures every year in commissions. And I did that in 4 completely separate industries, 2 that were B2C, business to consumer sales, and 2 that were B2B, business to business sales. So you want to learn more about that, just message me directly. I could keep going on for many, many days with that. Okay, let's keep going here. Got a couple more questions. I got about 150 more questions here on IG. You guys are really good at questions. I love that. Okay. Jim says, how do I overcome an objection when you say they want to think about it after you've already drop closed? Well, Benny, I don't know what drop closed means. It sounds like a weird term, okay? But how do you help them overcome the think it over objection? Now, there's a couple different things for me to go over this. When a prospect says, I want to think it over, I want you to ask yourself, what is going on in their mind that is triggering them to not purchase? And say, I want to think it over. Because as you know, the I want to think it over is not a real objection. Do your prospects sit there for 2 weeks straight, like, I'm thinking it over, I'm writing this out, thinking it over? When you say that to a salesperson, you go back for 3 days and 6 days straight and think it over, you don't think about it again. You just said that because you want to give that salesperson an excuse to try to get off that phone or Zoom or in-person appointment, because certain things you said or didn't ask in that conversation triggered what's called uncertainty in that prospect's mind, where they don't trust what you said is really going to get them the result you said it would. And that's why they tell you, I want to think it over. So they have some type of hidden objection that they don't want to tell you because they know you're going to try to overcome their objection, right? And be pushy and try to push them into it. So that really is a downstream issue. Because of your discovery process, you're not building a big enough gap from where they are compared to where they want to be. You can't tell them what that gap is because you're biased. You're the salesperson. It just goes in one ear, out the other if you tell them that, okay? Your questioning ability has to get them to tell themselves what that gap looks like. You can only do that by getting very, very good at advanced questioning and advanced tonality. We teach all that in the virtual training courses. So it's a downstream issue. Now, let's pretend, because that objection can be eliminated by 70%. So if you're getting a lot of that, imagine getting 70% less think it over objections. Now, let's say they still give you the think it over objection. Okay, what do? First of all, you're like, oh, Benny, this sounds really good, but I just need some time to think about it. I need some time to really go over this in my mind. You just agree. Because what do most salespeople do? Well, what do you need to think about it? You said that you needed this, and we're going to do this. Like, what do you need to think it over about? And then they're just going to push off again. And when you do that and you argue with them, they just push back. It's just human behavior 101. So I have to agree with them first, because what's the first thing I have to do? Let me show you guys. Okay. What's the first thing I have to do in a sales process? Let me try to get this behind me. See if you guys can see this here. All right. The first thing that I have to do is I have to disarm the prospect. Okay. I have to get them to let their guard down. Because if I can't let their guard down, what happens? Sales resistance. Right? Am I right? Everybody knows I'm right. When you argue with them, they argue back, sales resistance come out very quickly. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks backwards on mine when I'm looking at it, right? So I have to agree with them to get them to let their guard down, and I have to get them to feel that I'm about to leave. So if I'm on Zoom or on the phone, I have to get them to feel I'm about to get off. If I'm in person, I have to feel like I'm about to leave and they're going away too. So they let their guard down. They relax. They don't feel sales pressure. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's not a problem. What's your time frame on getting back to me in the next day or two just to see if I'd be available? See, I'm already going there. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Because if I can disarm the prospect where they let their guard down, are they more likely to become open and tell me what the real concern is? Because if they just stay surface level and argue with me, if I argue with them, they're far less likely to tell me what's really going on, right? And if I can't know what the real concern is, how do I get them to overcome it? Because I think an objection is not a real concern. Okay, so yeah, that's not a problem, Jane. What's your time frame on getting back to me in the next day or two just to see if I'd be available? Well, I don't know. I'm kind of busy, Jeremy. I'll call you back next week. Can't take any waffling. You have to have a firm time. Now, bear with me. Here's what we're going to do. Well, I'm not quite sure I'd be available like that randomly with my schedule with other clients. What I can do, though, if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine on my phone and have you book a specific time with me. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that help you if I did that? They're not going to be like, no, that wouldn't help. They're like, oh, sure, yeah, that would help me. Okay, well, I could get with you, blah, blah, blah. And you book the appointment. Let's say you book it out for the next day. Let's say today's Thursday, you book it for Friday. Now, here's what you do at the very end. After you've got the appointment, because that's plan B, you're going to say this. Now, Benny, before I go, what was it that you were wanting to go over in your mind so I know what questions you'll have when we talk tomorrow? What did I just do? Now, Benny, before I go, so they still think I'm leaving. I'm getting off Zoom. I'm getting off the phone. I'm leaving the gym, wherever you're at, the boardroom, wherever, the office, the home, whatever. Now, Jane, before I go, what was it that you were wanting to go over in your mind just so I know what questions you'll have when we talk tomorrow? Well, I'm just concerned about blank, or I just don't know if we have the money for this. And they're going to tell you what's really going on. They're not going to tell you what questions they have. Whatever they say there is the real concern. Does that make sense? There is no real concern about I want to think it over. That is not an objection. It's what's behind them saying I need to think it over. What do they really need to think over? The money, the time, the commitment. They're not quite sure if the software is going to work with this, depending on what you sell, right? So once they tell you, then you're right there and you know what the real concern is and you can help them overcome it. And worst case scenario, if you can't help them overcome it because you haven't learned how to do that yet, which we teach you all that in our virtual training platforms and group training, then you have the appointment for the next day, right? Hopefully that helped you, Benny. All right, let's come over to TikTok. You guys are getting antsy. Haven't answered any of your questions over here on the TikTok phone. Let's see what you got here. Hold on. Let's see here. I want to get a really good question. I'm in tech sales, working to get an entry level. What's one question to ask the interview for that? I'm not sure what you're asking. You're going to have to ask me that a little bit more. Clarify that for me. How do you know, Young G Jit, how do you know when is the right time to build rapport? Well, okay, let's define what rapport really is. Okay, if you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook, because we've been on Facebook for a couple of years. We just got on Instagram about 9 months ago, and we just got on TikTok maybe 5 months ago. If you've been following me for a while, I'm a big critic of small chatter when you get on sales calls. Oh, how are you doing today, John? Oh, yeah. Where do you live? Oh, yeah, Dallas. Yeah, I love Dallas. I was there about 2 years ago. See, your prospects know when you ask them, how are you doing today, that you are generally not interested in how their damn day's going. Let's just be honest. Even if you are, they don't think you are. I want to make sure everybody knows that. And why is that? Because every single prospect that has ever tried to sell them anything from vacuum cleaners to toilet bowl cleaner, to a house, to a car, to an insurance policy, to anything, all ask what question when they get on calls? How are you doing today? So that is a trigger question that just triggers them to think of all the other negative experiences they've had over the years with all these other salespeople that were pushy and tried to pressure them. So all you're doing immediately is you're triggering, and a lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, but you're triggering what's called fight or flight mode. That's what you're triggering. Fight mode, if there's an A-type personality, they try to just tell me what this is. I'm not interested. We already have somebody for that. I'm good. Oh, I know I filled that out, but I'm too busy. Can you call me back this weekend? That's fight mode. They just get rid of you. Flight mode is they go through everything with you, but they stay surface level. They never open up, 1 or 2 answers for each question. And at the end, they say, I really like this, but I needed some time to think it over. I really need to pray about it. I need to keep doing more research. I need to get more information. I just barely met you. I need some time to stew this over. I never make decisions on the spot. I need more quotes. Yeah. Okay, that's because you're triggering that by thinking you're building rapport. And you're not building rapport at all. You're doing reverse of that. Okay, building rapport is only done by your tonality and how you come across early in that conversation. Realize this, within the first 7 to 12 seconds of any conversation you're in, your prospects are picking up on verbal cues from you based off your tonality and what you are saying and or asking that triggers their brain to react. Ooh, that's a scary word. React in one of 2 ways, okay? If you come across aggressive, assumptive, if you come across needy, if you come across attached, and you don't understand the right questions asked, it triggers their brain to go into fight or flight mode, try to get rid of you. Now, once you learn NEPQ, we're going to train you specifically how to come across more neutral, more unbiased. I'm not quite sure we could even help you yet. We'll have to see. You're unsure in the beginning because that disarms a prospect where they let their guard down. Okay, because you don't sound like all these other pushy salespeople they've always heard. Now, you don't come on there like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out, John. Like, you're not going to come across as a wimp either. You're not down here like you're not super positive, but you're not like super negative. You're just in the middle. You're neutral. You're not quite sure yet. You don't know anything about what's going on. We're going to teach you how to come across that way. We're going to teach you how to have collective confidence by how you come across in the conversation, how calm you are. And we're going to teach you how to become detached. That's the key word. Especially we're going to teach you the right questions for your industry and the delivery of those questions, verbal cues and verbal pauses included, that trigger the prospect to become curious enough. Okay, let me go there. That trigger the prospect to become curious enough where they feel like you might have something important. They don't know what it is yet, but they're open to learning about it. Okay, that's what we're going to teach you, right? So hopefully that answers. So building rapport is not about how are you doing today. It's about how you come across, okay? Let's say you're calling an outbound lead. Yeah, John. Hey, John. Oh, John, yeah, it's Jeremy Miner with XYZ. It looks like you had responded to one of our ads yesterday morning about looking at getting possible outside help with X so that you could XYZ, right? And I repeat back what they said they wanted from the ad. Okay, whatever we're advertising. That's not industry specific, that's generalized, okay? Yeah. Now I should probably start asking, have you found what you're looking for, or are you still looking for like more financial protection when something does happen to you? If I sold insurance, I'm just throwing something random out there. Okay. No, I'm still looking. Okay. And do you know what you're looking for? See how I come across. And do you know what you're looking for? Okay. Curious. Okay. So it's all how you come across. We teach all that in our virtual training courses. Just message me directly. We'll show you how to do that. Okay. Hopefully that answered your questions. Let's see here. I'm getting stuck with Gatekeeper who tell me that the owner is not interested in my software. Well, what are you saying to the Gatekeeper? That depends on what it is. So if I'm cold calling and I'm like, yeah, is John there? No, he's not here. Can I ask who's calling? Did John know that you're calling? No, he doesn't. Well, what do you do? Well, I do blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's not interested. Or I'll take his number and he'll call you back. For instance, like, their job is to protect them. So if you come across like all other salespeople, yeah, this is just Jeremy Miner with XYZ company. And the reason why I was trying to get a hold of John was you just sound like everybody else. So they just put you in the commoditation. They just commoditize you with all these other pushy salespeople and they try to get rid of you. So I want to come across like, this is Wanda with XYZ company. How can I help you? Yeah, Wanda, Jeremy Miner, I was wondering if you could possibly help me out for a moment. Sure, Jeremy, how can we help you? Well, and I'm not quite sure who I should be calling or talking to, but I was calling to see who would be responsible in your department for looking at any possible hidden gaps in or issues in your blank that could be causing the firm to blank. Now you have to plug that gap in. Now we teach you all that in our virtual training courses. In fact, in our advanced NEPQ 3.0 virtual training course, it's like 34 hours long now or whatever, about 10% of it is all on cold calling. All of those. We teach you how to make that industry specific. So if you want to start getting past the gatekeeper, where the gatekeeper actually wants you to talk to their boss, you probably want to message me directly, because we train people in your space that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in your space. Okay. They didn't when they started. I can assure you that. They had the same struggles you did. All right. Hopefully that answered your question. All right. Let's come back over here. Some IG questions and also some YouTube questions and Facebook questions right here. Oh gosh, there's some really good questions in here. Brandon, can you give us some connecting questions to ask? Well, Brandon, I need to know your industry. I don't know what industry you're in, my man, but if you let me know your industry, I can help you with that, because they're going to be different. They're going to be tweaked based on your industry. We teach you how to do all that in our virtual training courses, right? All right, check out Symmetry Financial Group. That's who I'm with. Michelle, yeah, I just did a training for you guys. There was about 1,600 people on there this morning on that virtual training call. Should I ask, how are you on a sales call to CFO? Absolutely not. How many other salespeople are asking the CFO how they're doing that day? Everybody. You don't want to sound like everybody else, because then they associate with everybody else. You just don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be different, right? Yasin on LinkedIn. I help businesses with government tax refunds. How do you think I should approach clients? I need a more specific question. Not that I don't want to answer you. That's too generic. It's too vague of a question for me to know what you're asking in that. How do you approach clients? Well, you want to ask what are called connecting questions that take the focus off you, put it on your prospect, that disarm the prospect. You then want to ask them situation questions that help them and you find out what their real situation is. You then want to ask them problem awareness questions that help them find out what their real problems are, the root cause of the problem, and how the problems are affecting them. You then want to ask solution awareness questions that help them see what their future is going to look like once all the newfound problems are solved. You then want to ask consequence questions that get them to feel what the consequences are, the ramifications are if they don't do anything about the problems they just said they had from your questions. Okay, there's a lot more to that, Yasin. So message me directly on LinkedIn, and either myself or one of my stunt doubles will help you on that. We can get you in the right training where you don't have to struggle anymore. Good Lord, it's so easy to sell when you have the right skills, and it's freaking hard to sell when you don't. Really hard. Okay. Let's see. I sell life insurance. Want to be the best, but I'm an introvert and it's tough during sit downs with me. Just got to keep pushing. Christian, it's only tough if you don't know what to say and ask that trigger the prospect to want to open up to you. We train thousands in your industry. Many of them are introverted just like you. I'm not even extroverted. I'm what's called an ambivert or ambivert. I'm like right in the middle. I can go out and do a keynote in front of 7,000 people and not even be nervous. It's like not a big deal. And then I can go sit down with you and 2 other people in a restaurant and not say a word for an hour. I can do both. Okay? Has nothing to do with you being successful in sales. In fact, introverts are actually pretty good in sales because once they learn NEPQ, because they're more collective and calm and relaxed, they're not so hypish, right? We can teach them the structures of the question. They understand structure very well. We've got salespeople we have thousands of salespeople that are introverted. They make 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800,000 plus a year in your industry and many other industries. Okay. Message me directly right now, Christian. You don't have to keep pushing. Stop pushing and learn the right skills. Pushing is not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to keep getting you frustrated. It's going to keep getting you low commission checks. And eventually it's going to cause you to burn out and you're going to get out of sales. I can pretty much guarantee it if you don't have the right skills. Okay. Stop pushing, learn the right skills, and get your prospects to pull you in and want to engage. It's so much easier. All right, Jack on LinkedIn. This is a good question. I sell software platform that helps facility managers virtually visit their properties from their desk. That is a good problem to solve, right? I love that. I currently struggle with clients that say they're interested, but not currently looking to make a change. Okay, Jack. Say they're interested, but not looking to make a change. That makes zero sense. They only say that because that's a downstream issue. Once again, you're not building the gap from where they are compared to where they want to be. If they don't have your services, what are the consequences for them? That means that they fly, like they're an investor that has to fly all over planet Earth to look at these homes. They don't have time. So if they can see them virtually and make decisions on that, how much time does that free up with them? That's a game changer for what you do. But you're not building, if you don't have the right tonality, if you don't have those skills that we teach, if you don't have the right questions for your space, which we teach all that in the virtual training platforms, you are going to get a lot of people that say that. That tells me that you're asking too many consultative questions that are surface level questions, and your prospects stay surface with you. And then at the end they say, this sounds really good. I need time to do more research about it. I just met you. I need to think it over. I need to keep looking at other companies. I'm not quite sure how we would use this. Like, you're going to keep getting all those objections because your prospects are staying surface level with you. That right there, I'm interested, but I'm not currently making the change. Well, that's all sales is change. If I describe sales in one word, it's change. It's about how good you are at getting the prospect to view that in their mind, them changing their situation, that means purchasing what you're offering, that by them doing that, that is far less risky for them than them doing nothing at all, staying in the status quo, their problems stay the same, and nothing ever changes. Which is more risky? Do you see the difference in that? Now, here's your problem, though. Human beings don't like change, even though we say we do. Why do we not like change? We especially don't like change when it's initiated by some pushy salesperson who's ready to pitch their products and services on us within the first 30 seconds to 1 minute of a conversation, okay? Repeatedly, human behavior shows that we value tradition and something that is consistent to us over something that is new and foreign and unknown to us. And why is that? Think about the battered spouse syndrome. They get physically abused, they get verbally abused, but they keep coming back. Why do they keep coming back? Because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of the unknown. So if you don't have the right sales ability, if you have not acquired those skills, your prospects say they want to change, but they don't change because they have that fear in their mind. You have to help them overcome that. You're not going to be able to overcome that if you don't learn the right skills, and you're going to keep getting punched in the face by those people who are clients who are selling exactly what you are. They are making those sales. I can pretty much guarantee you, or selling something like you are. It might not be the same product or service, but it's something similar. I guarantee you, they don't have that issue. And it's not because they have cooler hair, dude, or they got cool shoes on. They just know the right questions. They know the right tonality. That's the only thing that separates them from you. So you want to learn those skills, message me directly on LinkedIn, okay? All right, here's another question from somebody on Facebook. Does NEPQ help in any way in an industry where I'm constantly told that I have to use these gimmicky 3-drop closes where we call the sales manager and act like we need to get an approval for more of a discount? I want to move to an industry where I can actually incorporate this material. So, Matthew, let me answer this question. According to Forbes, there are 158 industries in the world. Only 158. Did you know that? I used to think there was like 10,000 industries. I had no idea. There's literally only 158 industries. Well, 159 if you're including underwater basket weaving. I'm joking. There's 158 industries. There are subsets of those. We train every single one of those. Let me repeat myself. We train your industry and every other industry according to Forbes. Okay, we are that large of a company at this point. That's why Inc. magazine ranked us the fastest growing sales training company in 2021 and in 2020. And I'm assuming we're probably going to win that award in 2022 as well, because we train every industry. So to answer your question, yes, You don't want to use the gimmicky 3-drop closes where you call the sales manager and act like you need to get approval, because most of your prospects know what you're doing. In fact, it just causes them to trust you less. People are far more cautious and skeptical than they've ever been before because of those type of things that they can see right through for the most part. Unless they're a lay down sale, you're losing tons of those sales that our clients who sell exactly what you are make day in and day out. So message me directly, Matthew. We can show you how to do that if that's what you want. You can stay in that industry and totally crush it. All right. Hey, Jeremy, I sell solar, but in Spanish, there are some words that aren't that strong to open up. I don't know what your question is, my man, but we train thousands in your industry as well. I've got solar people that make 50 to 100 grand every single month in commissions that were making 5 to 8 grand a month when they first started in our training. Okay, let's go to YouTube. Rocky, getting into short-term rental coaching sales. Short-term, like Airbnb. I see what you're saying. It's more of a high-ticket sale than I'm coming from, which is debt settlement. We train both of those industries. Any pointers on being successful with high-ticket? Learn NEPQ. We train tons of companies in high-ticket, including we train a massive company that has a high-ticket company. I don't know, you might be working with them. I don't even know. We just brought them on as a client a couple months ago, and their sales are up by 380% in the first 90 days. They are scaling. They went from like 3 salespeople. Now they have like 25 in 3 months. Okay. Good problem to have because their salespeople are making sales. So we train a ton of people how to sell short-term rental coaching, right? So your company teaches people how to get into like short-term rentals, like arbitrage and like how to, buy those as well. It depends on what you're doing. And they teach them the skills to go from like a 9-to-5 job to become like a full-time investor and to do arbitrage. I'm assuming that's what you do, but train tons of people in your industry. If you're not in NEPQ, just post hashtag NEPQ or join the Facebook group and message us. I mean, we train all of that. I mean, you could sell starting tomorrow if you're in our training course. Let's see here. Where can we get the book you're talking about? Are you talking about my book? So my first book is co-authored by one of my good friends, Jerry Acuff. He's the CEO of Delta Points, one of the largest sales consulting companies in the United States out of Virginia. He's been around for about 27 years. He teaches mainly, he has 12 clients, they're all Fortune 100 clients. You don't need any more clients when you have 12 Fortune 100 clients. But Jerry and I wrote a book titled The New Model of Selling to an Unsellable Generation. Now that'll be available online bookstores the end of November. So you're talking about 2 months from now. It's just going through graphic designs, like with the book cover and all that stuff. And then the ebook's supposed to come out. And then the book will be available. It's actually available for pre-order, I think, on Amazon right now. I think you can pre-order it. If you go to Amazon, search for my name, Jerry Acuff, that book should be available on pre-order. But it'll be available online bookstores the end of November. Now, if you want to walk into a bookstore, like Barnes & Noble or Target or any of the bookstores worldwide, that will not be available in those bookstores until March 1st of 2023. Our publisher, Morgan James Publishing, that's just the way they have set it up. They have the online version come out, and about 4 months later, they have the version that comes out in the bookstores, and you'll see it in airports as well. I hope you like it. It's good. Realize, though, a book, you're only going to retain about 3% of that. So if you're expecting to read a book and then like quadruple your sales, probably not going to happen because you're going to retain 3% of it. Plus, we're giving you like 0.000001% of the training in the book with no tonality training because it's a book, you're reading it. So you want to get into our virtual training courses. That's where you're going to learn how to sell if you want to make 3 or 4 times more than what you are now. Okay, let's come back over to IG. You guys are getting fierce over here. Like, damn it, Jeremy, you're not answering any of my questions. Okay. Here's one. Here's a unique one. I want to get back into sales, period. What industry would be good to get back into? I'm a self-employed handyman. I currently am the salesman, closer, installer, troubleshooter, etc. Here's a problem. Like a lot of people ask me, like, Jeremy, you train all these industries. Which are the best ones? The problem is everybody thinks that it's the industry instead of looking at themselves. Okay. Do you know the industries I was in, the 4 industries I was in? Okay, where I averaged about $200,000 a month in commissions. Let me repeat that. In the 4 industries I was in, especially the last 3, I averaged $200,000 a month in commissions as a W-2 or 1099 sales rep. I didn't own the company. I wish, geez, I would have been a multi-gazillionaire had I done that. Do you know what the average salesperson in this industry made? About 50 to 60,000 a year. So if the average salesperson was making 60 grand a year, and I was making that almost every 8 or 9 days, was it the industry, or were my sales skills and ability just far superior than anybody else in those companies? So it's not the industry. We have to understand that. Okay. We train salespeople. Like let's give me an example. Like I just said, solar industry. We've got thousands of people that make 50 to 100 grand a month. Do you think the average salesperson in that industry makes 50 grand a month? No, they make like 5 or 6 grand a month, or they quit because it's a hard industry if you don't know what to do. The ones who make that type of money are because of the sales ability they've acquired, that they've learned from us. So whatever industry you pick, if you have the right sales ability, it will not matter. If you don't have the right sales ability, you're going to get slapped in the face pretty hard. Hate to tell you that. So message me directly if you want to have the right sales ability. Selling becomes really easy then. Hope that helps you, brother. I'm so sarcastic with you guys. Santiago, how do I close more deals? Well, you gotta get better building the gap. If you can't build the gap in the prospect's mind from where they are compared to where they want to be, that gap, let me repeat myself, can only be in their mind, not by you telling them. That goes in one ear, out the other. You're biased. You're the salesperson. Your questionability allows them to tell themselves what their real problems are. And the more problems you can help them see in their mind they have and feel, their emotions, the more reasons they have to want to change. And the less objections you get, and then you start to 3 and 5 and 10x. I'm not kidding. Your sales results and your commissions. Now, if you don't learn those skills, you're not going to close many deals, and you're going to struggle, and it's going to be a hard path. I'd rather not go down the hard path. I'm lazy. I just want to have the right conversations where most of my prospects purchase what I'm offering. I'd rather not struggle. Struggling is just not fun. When you have a lot of stress, you don't live as long, right? So if you want to live a long, healthy life and actually enjoy life when you come home from work, you just want to acquire the right skills. Because you don't acquire the right skills, you're going to bang your head against the brick wall every day, my friend. Hope that helped you. All right. Let's see. What are some other questions we have here? Okay, Siad, you mentioned somewhere you worked in debt relief yourself. So what was the most common objection you got, and how did you respond? Yeah, so one of the 4 industries I was in was debt relief. We would help usually SMB companies, some enterprise, but mainly SMB companies, like restructure their debt. And a lot of times I didn't get as many objections as most people did, because I knew how to prevent them by building the gap, right? But let's say I still got an objection. One of the objections I would get is like, well, this sounds really good, but we're also meeting with XYZ company, and we're meeting with A, B, and C company, and we want to see what they're willing to offer us, and then we'll come back to you. I would say, yeah, that's not a problem. Now, let's say that you meet with XYZ company and ABC company. What are you hoping to see from them? Or what are you hoping they say to you? And that would tell me, like, well, we just want to know about this and we want to know about that. And that would usually tell me what their real concern was, and I could help them overcome it. Now, if I still couldn't overcome it, I would say, okay, so let's say that you meet with XYZ company and ABC company, and you find that they can help you restructure your debt and give you this interest rate, just like we can. At that point, with all 3 companies being so similar, how would you then decide who to go with? And then they would tell me where I needed to sell them. Well, at that point, it's going to come down to this. And whatever this was where I knew to focus. Because I can guarantee you those other salespeople trying to win that account would never know how to ask that question and would never know how to find that out. And I would get 9 out of 10 of those people that would give me that objection, usually right on the spot. Hope that helped you. Okay. All right. Let's go to another one here. Let's see. I'm going on IG right now. All right. This is a good one. Jeremy, what's the best answer to I'm not interested right at the start of a cold call your prospect? How do you engage them? Hey, this is Jeremy, blah, blah, blah. You go through it like, oh, I'm not, we already have somebody for that. I'm not interested. Let's say that. Oh, we're good. I'm not interested. We already have somebody for that. First of all, you have to agree with them. If you argue with them, if you're like, oh, I just need 2 months of your time. I know we can save you money. Click. You say, oh, yeah, that's not a problem. And just so you're aware, Frank, I'm not quite sure we could even help you yet. We'd have to understand a little bit more about what you're doing in XYZ area. And what that looks like, just to see if we can even help, because maybe you're better off staying with who you already have. Are you opposed to having a brief conversation to see if we could even do anything? Now, why did I just do that? What do I first have to do? Okay, we talked about this. I have to disarm the prospect. Because if I can't get them to let their guard down, there's no sale. If I can't disarm them. And sorry, there's a light here, so you're not going to be able to see all that. My bad. I didn't have all this set up. I didn't even think I was going to use the board. We're going to throw the board away here. All right. So I first have to disarm that prospect, because if I can't disarm the prospect, there's no way they're ever going to open up. So I just like, oh yeah, Frank, and just so you're aware, I'm not quite sure we can even help you yet. See the pause. I pause for 2 seconds. I'm not quite sure we can even help you yet. We'd have to understand a little bit more about what you're doing with XYZ company and what that kind of result you're getting, just to see if we can even help, because maybe you're better off staying with who you already have. Are you opposed to having a few minutes to talk about that? Are you opposed to having a brief conversation to see if we could even do anything? Now, why would I say, are you opposed instead of, are you open? Because what do they really want to say? They want to say no. So if I say, are you opposed to having a brief conversation? I want them to say no. It's hard for them to say, yes, I'm opposed. They're going to be like, oh, no, I'm not opposed. What do you have? And then you're right there. I disarm them, and then I reframe with, are you opposed to having a brief conversation to see if we could even do anything? Now, if they're like, yes, I'm opposed. Oh, sorry, I couldn't help you. I just move on to the next person. I don't really care, because I know in the next person, they're going to be more open. They're going to be not opposed. All right. So that's how you do that. Hopefully that answered your question. That was a good one. I like when you guys ask me good questions. All right. Let's see here. Oh shit. I'm out of time. I love you guys. Guys, I'm so sorry. I got to go. I'm 49 minutes in. I'm 9 minutes late. Everybody's probably slacking me. All right, guys. Hey, you want to start? Hey, I just gave you a little bit today. I'm sorry. I don't have much time in 49 minutes, but look, if you're following me on IG or TikTok, or you're in our Facebook group, or you're seeing me on YouTube or LinkedIn, those reels and little shorts we do, I'm glad you like them, but they're just little nibbles. They're just really basic stuff. The 100,000 piece puzzles in our virtual training platform, we're giving you 3 pieces on the virtual training courses. If you want to learn everything from A to Z, how to take your prospect from the beginning of the call or Zoom call, or in-home appointment, or in an office appointment, or boardroom, or door-to-door, or cold call, or on the phone, inbound, outbound leads. It doesn't matter. We train everybody, every industry, all those different sources. You want to learn those skills. If you want to start making 10,000 every single month in commissions, or you want to start making 15 or 20 grand a month every single month in commissions in your industry, or you want to start making 30 grand a month, or 40 or 50 or 60 grand a month plus in your industry, because I can assure you, we are training tons of people in your industry and companies that are making those numbers every single month. And they are no different than you. They just have the right skills. They have the right tonality. They have the right verbal cues, the right verbal pauses. They know exactly where to take their prospect, where the prospect wants to engage and pulls them in. There's literally no difference other than that, but that's a big difference. So if you want to start acquiring those skills to make that type of money, like thousands of our clients are, folks, there's a reason why we have well over 10,000 testimonials in the last 2 years. More than sales training companies that have been around for 30 or 40 years. There's probably a reason, because it actually gets you results. And we don't even ask people to post. They just post themselves. Shit, if we ask people, we'd probably have 100,000 testimonials. We need to do that. All right, so message me directly now. If you're in TikTok, message me directly right now. If you're on IG, message me directly right now. If you're in the Facebook group, message me directly right now. Or LinkedIn, message me directly. Or anywhere on Facebook, message me directly right now. Now, I'm going to have 350 messages after this. I can't respond to all of you. So I'll be in there with probably about 10 to 15 other stunt doubles of mine. and we will get back to you with different training options that you can go through. We have like 26 different training programs. And once we find out what industry you're in, what type of commissions you're making now, compared to what you want to make, once we understand that, then we can recommend the right training program that's going to get you the quickest results. I'm talking within a few days from now. If you want them, you don't have to have those skills. You can stay at the same income, keep beating your head, hoping and praying that somehow it's going to work out for you, that God's going to create a miracle for you. Well, like my good friend Andy Andrews always says, God feeds the birds. He doesn't drop the worms in your nest, right? You have to do something. Here's your opportunity. So message me directly right now, and we can help you. All right. Love you guys. Tune in next week. Now, next week, we are having a 3-day virtual sales challenge titled Better Tonality, Bigger Commissions. That's simple. Better tonality, bigger commissions. It's a 3-day virtual event starting on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 90-minute sessions each, free to each and every one of you on here. We're going to send you the registration link. So on IG, if I can have Val or Felicia or somebody in IG post that registration link to register, or just message me. Just message me now. Just message me and we'll give you the registration link. Just message me right now and we'll just post the registration link for you. If you're on YouTube or LinkedIn and you haven't joined the Facebook group, because that's where we do most everything in. If you're on IG or TikTok and if you haven't joined the Facebook group as well, we're also going to message, just DM me and we'll give you the link to the Facebook group. Just message me directly or post hashtag. If you can't figure out, Jeremy, I don't know how to message you. I haven't figured it out, because I was probably that way a year ago. Then in the comments, just post hashtag NEPQ, and we'll message you back. All right, folks, I got to go. I got things to do, people to see, babies to kiss and hug, my own daughter included. I got to get to her dance class here in a little bit, and lots of handshakes. Love you guys. See you soon. Well done. All right, TikTok, I am out of here. See you guys soon. Facebook group, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook business page, and Facebook. We love you. Message me directly right now for that registration link if you want in the Better Tonality, Bigger Commissions virtual training that we're doing next week for an hour-and-a-half sessions, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I can assure you, you'll probably want to attend if you want to sell more. If you don't care about selling more, then you don't have to attend. You can watch Netflix or something. All right. Love you guys. See you soon. Message me directly.